What's up, guys? It's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we just got a new Hecahands card. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this new card. So this card is actually really interesting looking, and I absolutely love the artwork of this. It looks so good. The Hecatonchire cards, or now Hecahand cards in the TCG, are going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm super excited to actually see what this card does, because the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. So let's go ahead and see what this card actually does. So this card is called Hecahands, and it actually is a normal spell card with the ability that you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. And when you activate this card, you can also send one other card that you control to the graveyard. And for the first effect, you get to add a Hecahands monster from your deck to your hand, basically being a Rhoda for the deck, which is so helpful for this deck for the consistency. Then, if you send a card to the graveyard at activation, you can actually set a Hecahands spell or trap from the deck, except another copy of this card. Now that is a broken ability to instantly get us to a Hecahands spell or trap card, and also use the ability to search out any of our Hecahands monsters that we want, which is so cool. I absolutely love that actual effect. That's so good. And for the second effect, you can banish this card in the graveyard, and your opponent draws a card and then discards a card. Now that is super helpful for the archetype. That's really cool. And I actually did bring up the original cards that were going to be released for the Hecatonchires archetype, which now in the TCG has been changed to Hecahands, which is really cool. This card is actually like self-titled for the entire archetype. And I want to show you guys why this card is actually so good for this particular deck. So why it's actually so good is because this card can actually search it, because it has the ability you can reveal this card in your hand, shuffle the deck, and then add a Hecatonchire or Hecahands card that's a spell or trap from your deck to your hand, meaning we can instantly search this card directly from our deck to our hand, which is so good. That's amazing that we can instantly get to a copy of Hecahands, because you now have like 6 copies of it, and if you also play cards like Thrust, you can also grab it directly from your deck to your hand, which is pretty good. Now also, the really cool thing about this card is these next 3 cards. I've been very closely following the Hecatonchires archetype because it is an illusion archetype, which is so cool to actually mix with Chimera, but this is actually very cool because of that second ability, because all 3 of these monsters, between the Giant or the Fiend, the Cerberus, and the other card, is actually really neat, because all 3 of these actually share a common effect that if a card is added to your opponent's hand outside of the draw phase, you can special summon this card to your side of the field directly from your hand, which is a great effect to be able to use with Hecahands, because you can actually just search any of them from your deck to your hand, which is usually going to be the copy of the Cerberus, to be able to instantly banish it from the graveyard and then summon it out to your side of the field, because your opponent's going to draw and then discard. And then you can use the effect of the Cerberus to be able to excavate the top 3 of your opponent's deck, and then special summon an excavated monster, and then you shuffle the rest back in the deck, which is great to get you an additional monster out on your side of the field that's your opponent, so you can actually step into your copy of Jaza, which is so cool. Basically making it so that your Hecahands is a 1-card combo for this deck to step into our boss monster, and then you can actually use the ability of your Jawas to be able to instantly grab another Hecatonchire or Hecahands card directly from your deck to your hand, which is so good. This card is definitely a 3-of. It was a Rhoda, so it was a 3-of to start with, but that extra ability to basically be a Dark World's dealing by just banishing it and making just your opponent draw a card and discard a card is so good for this deck, to be able to just instantly grab a card. So we can usually, I'm going to say, probably summon out the copy of the Cerberus to your side of the field, because this card can actually get you a monster onto your side of the field, because you get basically to excavate the top 3 of your opponent's deck and then special summon a monster to your side of the field, and then you basically shovel the rest back in the deck. So you get to grab an opponent's monster, put it on your side of the field, and then instantly bring out your copy of Jawa, which is really good. But you can bring out the other cards you want, which is pretty good, because if you also think your opponent might have a monster in the hand, you can take the chance with this card to be able to, during your main phase, look at one random card in your opponent's hand, and if it's a monster, you get to special summon it to your side of the field. It's a little bit more of a chance, because your opponent's probably going to play more monsters than anything, so it's a really good option to probably summon out the service, but it's totally up to you which one you grab. And you can also summon out this one as well, which is really cool, but this one has the ability during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field, which is a pretty cool ability, but it is during the opponent's main phase, which is a little bit of a downside for this card. So it's going to definitely be between these two that you're going to be summoning usually to your side of the field. And I do kind of think it's really cool because it's based on Tartarus, and this is actually a Cerberus, which is so cool because Cerberus actually guarded Hades. So it was actually the first guard of Hades, which is so cool to actually see this as one of the first starters that you're going to want to summon to your side of the field, which is really neat for this new spell card. I'm really excited for this archetype, and I'm definitely going to be profiling it and playing it as soon as it comes out. And I still think, even with this new card, it's going to be amazing with Chimera because it is a primarily illusion-based archetype, which is actually really neat. And I love illusion archetypes because they're really cool. There's a lot of them have the ability that they don't get destroyed by battle, which is really cool. And basically neither monster gets destroyed by battle because they're an illusion, which is really neat. So that's going to be this one, guys. Definitely tell me what you think of this new spell card down in the comments down below. I really think it's neat. It's definitely a 3-up. We're now probably playing 3 copies of Thrust in the deck as well, which if you're going to play different versions of this with maybe Branded or something like that, you're probably already playing it so you can get to Branded Fusion, and even playing it with your copies of like the Chimera archetype or playing it pure, you can still use it to be able to get to your copy of Hecahands. And some of the really cool cards that you can instantly get to as well is you can actually use it to set your copy of Tartarus, which is pretty neat. So you can use it during your opponent's turn, as if you control a Hecatonchire or Hecahands monster, you can target a spell trap your opponent controls, return it back to the hand, or you get to fusion summon a Hecatonchire's fusion monster in the X deck by banishing materials from the field in your graveyard. And if you use a face-up monster you control owned by the opponent, you can treat it as a Hecatonchire monster, so we can step into a copy of Xeno, which is really good. So basically it's kind of like a Chimera fusion during the opponent's turn, which is really nice, and I like that a lot about this. And something else you could probably play is something like a copy of Crackdown to be able to combine with this, so you can take control of an opponent's monster, flip this card up, and then fusion summon away an opponent's monster, which would be pretty neat to be able to do and use it as a disruption as well. But you're not going to be able to activate it during the turn you set it because it is a quick play spell, which is a little bit of a downside, but it can help us instantly get to basically our monster or spell negates, which is pretty cool that we can actually use this to instantly set to our side of the field a Hecahands spell or trap from the deck. So you can basically get a negate off of this as well as a Rhoda, making it probably one of the most powerful Rhodas ever created for a deck, that you can just instantly grab literally anything that you need and get 2 cards off of it, which is insane. And you can grab a monster and a spell or trap, which is really good. Hopefully in the following sets as well, we're going to get more support for this archetype, which is going to be insane because the deck is already starting out so good. So that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come part of notification squad, and definitely tell me what you think of this final piece for Hecahands. And I'm really excited for this. So that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come part of notification squad. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.